And I hear a lot of criticism about people complaining that people who say if you follow God, you've got to be holy at all times and never make a mistake. Well, you don't find that in the Bible. So let's hold on a sec, slow down. Let's talk together about that subject. Hello, I'm Methodist Dave. I'm a professional theologian and Bible teacher. And we come today to a transition from the great patriarch Abraham to his son Isaac. Now, Isaac was the son of promise that Abraham waited for over 30 years to be born. And then when he's born, God tells him to sacrifice your son. And Abraham carries him up to a mountain, and he's prepared to offer him up as a sacrifice, believing that God will raise him from the dead. And then we find Isaac getting a wife, and that Abraham sends his servant to find a wife, and Rebekah, and she comes back and falls in love with Isaac, and the two of them are married. Well, I'm sure Isaac is going to have a great history. He's going to have a great story to tell us. But the fact of the matter is that Isaac's kind of like a footnote in the Bible. You know, whenever it talks about it talks about God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, Abraham was a man of faith, and who had a covenant with God, and God made promises to Abraham, and he was wealthy, and he had interacted with his soldiers, and he interceded for the city of Sodom, and Abraham did this, and this, and this. And then we're going to read a little bit about Jacob in a very short time here, and Jacob did this, and this. But Isaac is nothing. I mean, he's just there. He's the comma between Abraham and Jacob. He's that guy that always gets inserted in the middle. What in the world does Isaac accomplish in his life? The answer is not much. Isaac is kind of bland, uninspiring. He leads a rather uneventful life, except for one small incident that we're going to talk about today. And I'm kind of inserting this lecture here in the middle of something else that we're going to talk about, because Jacob and Esau come on the scene, and they're born. And after they're born, we read this story about Isaac interacts with Abimelech, king of the Philistines. And we've already heard about an Abimelech that Abraham ran into trouble with, in that Abraham told Abimelech that Sarah, his wife, is actually his sister. That was a half-truth. She was his half-sister. But he's afraid that men will want her and kill him to get her. Isaac does the same thing to another king named Abimelech, which, even though we find different Abimelechs, doesn't mean that they're the same person. For instance, the king of England. There were 8 Henrys. There were 4 Richards. There were 7 Georges. 3 Charles. There's a lot of different kings with the same name. And in Rome, it was common to call all rulers Caesar, even though there was an original Caesar, Julius Caesar. So they all are called Caesar in honor of the first. So Abimelech may be a hereditary name, or it may be a word for their king, Abimelech, the king. And Isaac, there's a famine in the land, and God warns Isaac specifically, do not go to Egypt. Because you remember what happened when Abraham went to Egypt? He brings back Hagar, who gives birth to Ishmael. He will be the father of the Arab peoples, who even to this day are at odds with the Jewish nation. God says, do not go to Egypt. So Isaac remains in the land with the Philistines there, and he tells people that Rebekah is his sister because he's afraid they're going to kill him. And then one day, Isaac is in the courtyard with Rebekah, and the king looks out the window and sees Isaac caressing Rebekah, touching her in a way that only a husband would touch a woman. He would touch his wife. Oh, no, you don't. And he calls Isaac before him and says, why do you do this unrighteous thing? I'm afraid you're going to kill us. So again, Isaac humiliates himself in front of the king the way Abraham humiliated himself. And Abimelech issues a command that if anyone looks or touches Rebekah, they will be put to death. Even the pagans respect the sanctity of marriage. Even the pagans have more faith in God than Isaac has. And this is really the only notable thing that Isaac does in his whole life, aside from fathering two children. He becomes wealthy, he becomes powerful, and the Philistines actually ask him to go away because everything Isaac does, God blesses. But in the worldly standard, as a man of faith, Isaac really doesn't amount to anything. He just lives his life. And I believe he loves the Lord, and I believe he worships God, but he just doesn't stand out. And we see that he makes mistakes. And there's another mistake he's going to make. And this is a mistake that a lot of parents make when they favor one child above another and visibly, actively, undeniably favor one child over another. And that's going to be the subject of our next video, and I hope that you'll join me with it. In the meantime, if you have a question about this topic or any topic, feel free to drop me an email at methodistdave@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer your question, and maybe we'll even make a video out of your question. Make sure that you like and share this video. Tell all your friends, subscribe to the channel. We've got some biblical stories, and I've got some local travel videos that you might just enjoy. Until the next time, have a great day. God bless you, and take care of each other.